You guys have to realize that failure does not actually exist and it's nothing but a distraction from what it is you want. Think about the amount of energy you put into, but what if I fail? But what if this doesn't work out? That energy you could be using towards the goal itself, towards your success, towards the action, towards the mindset work that needs to be done in order to obtain this thing, in order to achieve this goal. By entertaining the thought of failure, you are putting out into the universe that your manifestation or whatever it is that you are desiring or working towards, that is optional, that thing is not inevitable. I need you to shift into the energy of completion, of inevitability, and just showing up as the type of person that never fails, that always gets what they want. There is a limiting belief that is making it seem like your desires are optional, or like there is something about you that isn't good enough to get what it is that you want. And you are making space for the option of failure, which is creating that as a possibility. But what would your process look like? What would your life look like if you disregarded failure as a possibility, as a whole? How much more energy would that free up? How much better would you feel? How much more inspired would you feel? And forget motivation, because motivation is nothing but a mood and it comes and it goes. Even if you aren't feeling motivated and you took the smallest little micro step, the old self would have said that that wasn't enough, that you need to work harder in order to get the thing, that you're going to fail if this is the only amount of effort that you're willing to put in. But what if your desires were inevitable? What if failure wasn't even an option? What if failure was nothing? Because failure is nothing if you make the conscious decision not to acknowledge it, not to accept it as a possibility. Think about that. Think about how much more better off your life will be when you disregard it, when you stop worrying, when you stop fearing that your desires aren't going to come to fruition, because you're hurting nobody but yourself. And you know what? You're tirelessly working towards something is not going to be rewarded. You do not get things based on how hard you work for them. You get things based on how deeply you identify with them and how deeply you believe that those things and those outcomes are already yours. And you take those things off the pedestal and you put yourself on the pedestal, and you realize that you are actually capable of anything. You have the power to accomplish anything. You are designing this experience with your mind, this experience of life. You are the creator, you are the designer, and you get to be the one who decides whether you fail or succeed. And if you take failure as every roadblock you find yourself in or every obstacle, if you take that as I failed, then that is you defining that is your point where you fail. But if you take those obstacles and if you take those roadblocks and say, this is bringing me closer to my goal, this is bringing me closer, this is the thing that's going to bring me closer to success, this is the thing that's going to propel me forward, you have the option to have that mindset and you have the option to keep going. When you stop listening to everyone else's success stories, how everybody else got there, because you need that external validation, and that's how you can just turn off the rest of the world and just go at it like straightforward and not worry and not fear, because failure does not need to exist in your reality. If you believe in failure, you are still at the point where you do not have complete faith in the manifestation process. You are not in an energy of knowing. You are still in an energy of hoping. You're also in an energy of doubting, thinking that it might not work out. You have the option to adopt that mindset or not. And just like you subscribe to YouTube channels, you can subscribe to certain thought processes and certain mindsets. You do not need to subscribe to the mindset of failure. Who is that serving? It's not serving you, and you're not doing anybody else favors by staying in that mindset that things might not work out for you. And if your confidence in something working out for you and getting something that you are working towards, getting something that you want is threatening to other people, then those are not your people. And that is a result of their own limiting beliefs. But you cannot let other people's limiting beliefs determine whether you are going to continue and persist. Persist in the knowing, not only persist in the actions that you are taking, the action steps, but persist in the knowing. You do not need to talk yourself down anymore. You've done that enough in your life. You have talked yourself down for your entire life because that's how you were conditioned. Nobody is going to give you the permission to stop doing that and to start believing in yourself rather than yourself. If you're an adult watching this, you have been living in the same mindset for your whole life. You need to be the one who says, okay, now's the time I'm going to change. And now is the time that I'm not accepting failure as a possibility anymore. Why would I put myself in that type of mindset? Free up that energy and become the proof that you are looking for.